Hey everybody, so I am coming tonight and I am going to talk to you really quickly about the power of visualization. And I know in essence it's like, oh, it's just a thing, but really it's everything. It's more than just a thing, it's everything. And this crossed my mind because last night I had a conversation. There was one of my Facebook friends who actually sent me a message, and she said, I usually don't even watch videos on Facebook or anywhere. I just kind of look at things, click, and keep moving. She says, but for some reason, whenever I saw your video pop up again, something told me to just sit down and watch it. And as I started to watch the video, the further you got into the video, the more I realized that it was speaking to me. And she says, after I finished watching the video, I hesitated for a while because I didn't even know whether or not I should reach out to you. I know you said reach out to you. I know that's the call that you're making, but I didn't know if I should reach out to you. But I wanted to because you were speaking to me and I just wanted some advice about something. And I said, okay. And we're having this conversation. She had sent me a message on my inbox and she says, hey, do you have a few minutes to talk? I just want to talk and get some advice. I made the time and I was just like, just give me the opportunity to get to where I'm completely quiet so that I can give you my full focus and attention. And y'all, whenever she started to talk to me, First of all, I was elated that she reached out realistically because she's somebody that I have always looked up to. She's someone that I have known for years and years and years, and I have seen so many different stages and phases of her life go on. And so for her to reach out and to say, hey, there was something that you said that touched me. There was something that you said that started to feed my soul. And so I am now not sitting in this capacity of you looking up to me, but I am now reaching out to you to say, hey, I'm looking up to you because I need help from you on something. And y'all, it was so crazy because while my heart was so happy, like, oh, I'm glad that I could share my story in such a way that you decided to act on it. Like, I'm happy with that. But y'all, it was so crazy because as we started to talk and I'm listening to what she's saying and I said, what is it that you really need? What I realized that the core of her issue was nothing more than visualization. And so we're talking and she's like, Ashley, hey, this is what's really going on with me. I want to be happy. I want to look at myself in the mirror. I want to know who I am. I want to love who I am. I am tired of living my life for everybody else. I'm tired of going to work every day just to spend my money to make everybody else happy. I want to spend my money on me and be happy when I spend my money. I want to be the mother that I know that I want to be, even though my children are adults. But I want to do that lovingly. I don't want to do it begrudgingly. I don't want to give to my kids and feel like I am empty at the end. She talked about just relationships. She just talked about so many things, y'all. And I'm sitting there on the other side of the phone and my eyes are welling up in tears because the more she's speaking, the more I'm just listening and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know exactly what's happening with you. I know exactly what's happening with you. And she goes on and she's just spilling out everything, y'all. And when she finished spilling everything out, I just said to her, I said, hey, this is about visualization. And so I share with her what visualization meant. She's just like, okay, I know what that means, but can you tell me how that applies to me? And so I'm going to share with y'all what visualization really means as it applies to you and as it applies to you becoming that woman or becoming that man that you see yourself being. In this particular case, she just wanted to be this all-out woman in every kind of way, not just have that slamming career and that slamming home and the slamming car. She just wasn't just happy with those things. She's like, the woman in me is dying and she's begging to be free, and I want to look her in the face and be like, yes, like that's me. And so I said, I want you to get out a sheet of paper. And I said to her, like I say to everybody, I've had so many people reach out to me in my inbox, just call me, and I'm like, get a sheet of paper. That's always been me for years. I will tell you, get a sheet of paper, get something to write it down. So I say this to her, write this down right now. What is the one thing that you want to release? What is it that is making you feel guilty? Because she shared quite a few things, that I don't want to go into because that's her private business. That's her private life. And she didn't give me the permission to share it. But she shared some things. And I said, I want you to write down about what it is you really need to release. What guilt you really need to release. Like, I want you to look deeply into you and decide what it is that you're holding on to that is even causing you to feel guilty, that's making you go and keep with this same line of things that you're doing, even though when you finish them, you feel depleted. You feel empty once you've done these things. Write down the guilt that you're holding. And I gave her a few minutes, y'all. I gave her a few minutes. We're talking about the power of visualization, because all this is what it is. This is what visualization is. It's about what you realistically see in every kind of way. What do you see as it relates to everything? And so, y'all, she writes this down. And I said, okay, let me know when you're through. And she lets me know when she's through. And then I give her the second question. I said, now I want you to write down what the woman of your dreams looks like. And she kind of stopped and she was like, hold up. Like, I don't know what you mean. You know, and I was like, I'm not speaking in a way like, you know, you like women. But what I'm saying, and it's a phrase that I use to me, is the woman of my dreams. Like, who is she? And it was that woman that I was chasing. I could see me, but I could see the woman of my dreams. And I wanted them to be here. And so I said to her, I said, I want you to write down on this same sheet of paper what the woman of your dreams looks like. What does she look like? What does she enjoy doing? What does she love doing? What makes her happy? What makes her laugh? What makes her cry? What makes her smile? Tell me everything about her. What does she do on the weekends? You know, is she a girl who goes to church 5 days a week? Or is she a girl that's okay with going to church 1 day a week, but she still likes to hang out with her friends on Fridays and Saturdays? It doesn't matter. What does this woman look like? What does she value? What does she enjoy doing? You know, everything. Like, tell me everything about this lady. And I want you to write it down, because this is more for you than it is about me. Y'all, we're talking about visualization, because when you can see what it is that you're chasing, when you can see what it is that you want to achieve, when you can actually see these things, everything becomes clear and everything becomes easy, because you're not just kind of blindly chasing something. You know exactly the point that you're trying to get to. You know exactly where you want to be. And when you're at the point where you are clear about these things, then all the other things, they no longer hold your attention. They may distract you from time to time, but you're able to bring yourself right back to that center. And I explained it to her. You're able to bring yourself right back to that sheet of paper to be able to say, this is the woman of my dreams. This is what she looks like, and this is who I'm striving to be. And so I gave her time, y'all, to sit and write all that out, y'all. And I'm sitting in the truck, and I'm just waiting. I'm like, take your time. Like, you don't have to rush. I'm here with you. Just let me know whenever you're through. And so, y'all, when she finished that, the craziest thing happened, y'all, because she just stopped and she said, Ashley, she said, thank you so much. She said, because now I know and I feel confident that I can go and look myself in the mirror and start being happy with the woman that I'm becoming. And so when she said that, y'all, I just paused. I didn't intervene. I didn't say anything. I just paused and I let her breathe. And I let that awkward silence be there just for a few minutes, y'all. I let it just be there, so that she would have that opportunity to just really think about what she said, y'all. And that's so important, because oftentimes we will say, you know, the awkward silence, and sometimes you need to be silent. Sometimes you need this, you know. But it was so instrumental yesterday after we finished that visualization exercise, because one of the main things that she said was, I've realized that I've done so many things in my life because I don't want to be lonely. I've allowed people to stay in my life because I don't want to be lonely. I've allowed people to come into my life because I don't want to be lonely. I've taken up doing things because I just wanted to be surrounded by people, because I just did not want to have the time to sit there and just deal with me, the real me, the me that I was being. And y'all, when she said that, like, this is after this silence, when she said it, I just listened to her. Like, I just listened. I didn't intervene, because she needed that time and she needed that moment, y'all. And that's what you need. When you're talking about visualization, you're talking about the power of it. You need those moments where you can sit and you can think, and you can think about everything. You can think about the great, you can think about the bad, you can think about the indifferent, you can think about all those things, so that you can pair them up to say, this right here is my sweet spot. This right here is where I want to be. She is the woman of my dreams. And in order for me to actually become her, in order for me to become the woman of my dreams, I've got to be willing to explore everything that cannot be a part of me, because that is just not something that the woman of my dreams even desires. It's not even something that she's seeking. And y'all, it was so great once we finished that conversation, because some of her final words to me was simply put, thank you for helping me see the real me. Thank you for helping me see the real me. And y'all, it brought me to tears, like in my gut. It brought me to tears because I personally can remember just a few years back being in that place to where it was just like, does anybody else see me? Does anybody else hear me? Does anybody else, if I even attempted to tell you what I was really thinking or what I was really feeling or what I was really going through, would you see me? Would you see me and still support me? Would you see me and still love me? And this was the thing that this woman was facing. Y'all, she'd been facing it for years to the point to where she was able to evaluate it and say, you know what, all these situations, I've been in a place to where I'm wondering, like, do you really see me? And if you do really see me, do you love me enough to see all of me? Do you love me enough to see me becoming the woman that I really want to be instead of holding me to the chains of the woman that I used to be? Y'all, when she said that, y'all, it brought me full circle. And I said to her, I said, listen, this is the one thing that I want you to do right now. Before we hang up the phone, y'all, in the conversation, I know it was about 30 to 45 minutes. And I asked her, I said, before you hang up the phone, I want you to do something. Like, I want you to do something. And this is not the something for me. And again, with her sheet of paper in front of her, y'all, we're talking about the power of visualization. I said, I want you to take this moment right now. And I want you to determine what you will start doing today. What will you start doing today? When we hang up this phone tonight before you go to sleep, because it was late, y'all. It was later in the evening. It was about 9 o'clock by the time both of our schedules were able to connect for us to be able to talk. And I said, I want you to decide what you can do tonight before you go to sleep that is going to get you one step closer to being the woman of your dreams, to being the woman that you see yourself being. What are you going to do today, tonight before you go to sleep, that's going to get you one step closer to where you can look yourself in the mirror and you can say, yes, I got this thing. Now, y'all, I got to tell you, we start cutting up near the end of the call because, you know, there is something that just happens when you feel free. There is something that happens within you when you can just tell your truth, when you can own your truth, when you can say, yeah, I'm out here posting on social media, you know, because social media can make it easy. It can make it easy for you to smile and, you know, post it, this is me, you know, but what happens when behind that pretty face, behind the makeup, behind the hair, behind the weave, you know, there's a woman in there hurting. There's a woman in there questioning her value. There's a woman in there who is having a hard time forgiving the things that she has done and forgiving the woman that she used to be. And so having that opportunity to talk to her and to say, that's going to be the hardest thing for you, but it's going to be so easy and so worth it. Forgiving that woman that you used to be is going to be the most important thing, y'all. And that's what she decided to do. That was her call. That was the thing that she decided that she was going to do before she went to sleep, was be intentional about forgiving the woman that she used to be. Forgiving herself for the things that she did previously that did not align with the woman that she sees herself being. Being able to look at herself and not down herself, not degrade. Y'all, the world will do enough of that for you, okay? That is not what we need to be doing to ourselves as women or as men. We don't need to beat ourselves up. If we have done a thing and we've moved on from that thing and we have said that thing is not a part of me, it will not define me, there is no reason for you, me, or anybody to be stuck in that place of having that thing go through your head all day, every day, and because it would be great if we could go back and change it. It would be great, but the reality is that it's not the world we live in. You cannot go back and relive that thing, but what you can do is start today, line up with the visualization that you see for your life, for your being, for your happiness, your sanity, your family, and keep it moving. And so being able to cut up, y'all, I cut up, but I'm just going to be honest, you know, because if you talk to me one-on-one at that point, all this goes out, the little camera in front, all that goes out because I'm here with you. I'm talking to you. I'm connecting with you because, you know, this is where we are. We're not in any other place, you know. And so being able to just say, like, you know, and it was interesting, y'all, at the end of that conversation to hear her start to open up in a real level to say, you know what? I done did some shit, but they won't define me. It was interesting and it was so rewarding to hear her just open up and say, these are some things that I've done and I'm not happy about, I'm not proud about, but thank you for letting me know that it is okay for me to forgive me. Y'all, and that, I gotta tell you right now, that brings me to something that, y'all, me personally, I dealt with, and so I know, especially after talking to her, I know that there are other women who are sitting around waiting on somebody to give you permission to forgive you. You don't need it, boo. You don't need me. You don't need your mama. You don't need your home. You don't need anybody to give you permission to forgive yourself. That is something that you owe to you. That is something that you can sit right now in your seat and say, I am releasing this thing. That is the thing that you owe to you. That is the thing, that's the permission that you need to give to you. Don't sit and wait for anybody else. While I was happy that she felt safe in the moment to say, thank you for giving me that permission to just forgive me, y'all don't sit around and wait on that thing. Because I go all the way to church with you when it comes to that forgiveness thing. We put ourselves in chains, and we bind ourselves up a lot of times because we're so worried. Will somebody else, is it time? Is it time? Or, is somebody else going to be? They forever. You know what? You could be 20 years down the line and somebody is still going to be looking at you saying, I remember when she did this. So what? I went back to that person. I went into that thing. I asked for forgiveness, and that is not who I am. That is not who I am. It will not define me. It will strengthen me. It just will not define me. And so being able to put yourself in that moment to give yourself permission to say, I am free from that. I forgive myself from that. Y'all, the power of visualization is so crazy because when you can grasp it, it's like, y'all, I love food. Okay? I love food. And when I am going out and I am looking for a meal, when I'm looking for that thing that I know I genuinely really want to eat, y'all, I can see it clearly. It's kind of like looking at the menu. And when you look at that menu, this is the picture they show and the plate they bring and they sit in your lap and you're like, I'm looking at the table and I'm, looking down and it's like this does not quite look like that picture. That's the power of visualization. If you sit on the menu looking that way, when they bring it to your table, you want what you saw. That's simple. And that is the same way we have to start living our lives on an everyday basis. We have to have that visual. We have to be so clear. We have to have that picture painted so clearly for ourselves that when we see it sitting right in front of us, when it falls into our lap, we're able to say, that's not what I ordered. Can you take that back, please? Because that is not what I ordered. And of course, we're talking to ourselves about this. When we see ourselves slipping into a habit or slipping into doing things or compromising our integrity or compromising our values or doubting ourselves or losing our sense of self-confidence or losing our sense of self-worth or wondering if we're good enough or am I pretty enough or am I fine enough? Am I beautiful enough? Am I woman enough? Do I work hard enough? And am I a great mother? Am I a great wife? When we start finding ourselves doubting all those things, all we need to do is remember that vision that we see. And when you know that vision that you see, you are able to compare that up apples to apples to say, this was the vision and this is what's sitting in front of me. And you know what? It's pretty close, but it's still not there yet. And that's when you get to look at you. That's when I get to look at me and I get to say, you know what? Now, this is what I need to do to make this thing just add up a little bit closer. It's like putting the pieces of a puzzle together. And that's what you have to do, and that's the power of visualization. And that is the way you take it and make it manifest in your life. And I guarantee you, when you get that clarity, that's what visualization is about. When you have that clarity, when you know what you are seeking, when you know what that woman looks like to you, when you know what that man looks like to you, when you know that this is who I want to be, when you can see it, when you can see... Y'all, when you can see something, you can feel it, you can hear it, you are in that place. It's like if somebody asks you to sit and think about the vacation of your dreams. By the time you see it, you feel the wind, you feel the sea, you feel everything. And that's what the power of visualization is. That's what it does for you. It puts you in a place to where it heightens every sense in you because vision is that strong. Vision is that strong. Vision is that powerful. And it becomes the thing that will guide you. It becomes the thing that will lead you. So if you don't do anything this week, I know last week I asked you to write down a goal and set yourself a deadline for one day at the end of that week and go chasing it. Let's just say you didn't do it. Let's just say you didn't even see that video. That's okay. What I want you to do today, and certainly before the end of this week, I want you to get so clear as to the person you see yourself being. I want you to see it. I want you to put the power of visualization into full effect. From the way you look, to the way you feel, to the way you wear your hair, to the way you walk, to the way you talk, honey, to the way you see everything. Because all of that is a part of you. All of that is a part of your unique being. All of that is a part, baby, y'all. I have some days and some moments to where you would look at me and you'd be like, who is she? But I'm being me. I'm being the woman that I see myself being. I'm being the mom. I'm being the wife. And even when I fall short, I'm able to snap that back together and be like, not today. You won't fall short today. But that's my call to you. My call to you today, and certainly by the end of this week, is to get so clear, get so crystal clear on what you see for yourself, on the life you see yourself living, on the person you see yourself being. I want you to get so clear on it so where you can feel it, because that's when you know that the vision is strong. Because you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your shoulder. Y'all, you'll feel it in your neck. Like I'm just telling you, you're going to feel it. Because that's how powerful vision is. And when you do that thing, I guarantee you, your life will never be the same. It will never be the same. And I mean that in a great way. Y'all, I hope I am helping somebody. I know that I am helping somebody just by sharing my story. Y'all, I'm so thankful for the women who have reached out to me, the women who have gotten on the phone with me. Y'all, I've even been connected with women that are in different states. You know how Facebook, if you're not friends or whatever, it puts it over in another message box or whatever. And it's just like, I didn't even know that this message box existed over here. And so being able to just have a little alert like, oh, what is this? And have people in there who I don't even know. I've never even seen in my life, but to be able to say like, hey, I watched that video and thank you. And y'all, that's the thing that will continue to motivate you, that will continue to move you into doing what it is that you're supposed to do. When you have that vision, when you have it clear, when you know that that's what you're supposed to be doing, when you know that you are being the person that you're supposed to be, at that point, you know that you'll be touching people. You know that you're touching lives. And so I'm thankful that I get to do that. And I'm thankful that I chose to do that, because I could have chosen to keep sitting down on my dreams. And so when I do get those calls, when I get the messages, when I get the texts, y'all, really my heart is just elated, because it lets me know that the thing that I was worried about, which was sharing my truth and being so transparent on a space to where everybody and anybody can see your story, it was very scary for me. I chose to do the very thing that I've always chosen to do. This one took me a little bit longer, I'll be honest with you, but I'm so glad that I did, because when I do get to hear women reach out to me and to say, oh, you're helping me with this thing, it makes everything so worth it. And so if you need anything, if you have questions about anything, reach out to me. I say it, I mean it. I am working on some things. They're coming in the pipeline. And so, but in a way to be able to really connect with women on a more deep and more intimate level, on a level to where realistically, I don't want to be live doing it in this kind of a space, but in a way that you get to connect with me behind the scenes, push the live button off, so to speak, where everybody else can see and we get to connect together. If you are interested and if you do want to stay abreast of what's coming with that, just go to my website, www.bewhoyoureallysee.com, and it's just a page right now, but just enter your name and your email address, and I guarantee you, as soon as I have this completed, you will be the first person to know. You'll be the first person to know that it's happening. The other thing that I just have to say, I have to address it for what it is, because I've had some women reach out to me and they say, you know what, you are helping, you're sharing, and I didn't want to reach out to you at first because, I've seen so many people on social media, and when they're helping, they're charging so much money. And y'all, when I hear it, first of all, I love it, because it's just like, you know what, thank you for acknowledging, thank you for that. But y'all, there is nothing in me that can stop me from helping another woman be who she needs to be, because she does not have the money to pay for something, because that's just not what it is for me. It'll never be that for me. So if you are in that place and you're like, well, I don't want to reach out, or I want to help or whatever because I don't have the money, you don't need to worry about that with me. All you need to do is reach out if you are in need. Connect with me. I'm here, y'all. This is what I love doing. I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to help you, because usually just that one conversation, just that 15, 20, 30 minutes with me one-on-one for you to just get everything out and put it out on the table is going to get you where you need to be. And if not, you call me again. But really, I mean that. Again, go to my website so that you can be notified whenever I finish working on this thing. I was just like, I'm going to be motivating, but I didn't know exactly where it was going to lead. And so now I do believe that I have some greater clarity on where God is leading me to go with this thing. I didn't want it to just be something that I was doing. I wanted God's blessings. I wanted it to be in His will. And so I do believe that I've actually gotten that to this place, having my vision put out there and saying, God, can you bless this thing? And Him being able to be like, nah, I can't really bless that one like that, but I can do something with this. And so being in there, y'all know, for that's how I talk to him. But it is a great feeling. And so again, you can go to the website so that you can get updated when it happens. The website is www.bewhoyoureallysee.com, and you will get an email as soon as everything is ready. Otherwise, just reach out to me. We'll talk later. Good night.